Hi there! Thanks for joining me for this curriculum night virtual video. I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful that you're in my class this year and that your kids are so awesome. I know you know that, but I just need to reiterate that because during this new time of school and changes, they've been so flexible, full of grace, full of patience, and they are just totally rocking it. So just wanted to relay that to you. So in this video, I hope to kind of go through what the year will look like in my class and what to expect. If you need any clarification, have any comments or questions, please feel free to email me. I'm going to be attaching my scope and sequence, which is all the different things we'll learn throughout the year, and I will be attaching just a document with a couple little more things that have clarification in them, like grades and weights. I'm not going to go through that in the video, but it'll be on that document. So a little bit about me is that this is my 5th year teaching 4th grade at Monarch. I came to Monarch right out of Rollins College in 2016 and have loved it and love being here. So that's a little bit about how I came here. Now, I'm gonna just kind of go right into it. So we will talk about planners and binders first. So that big organizational binder has everything that they'll need in it. And I really like to use that binder as a source of communication for us. So if I need to let you know anything, well, their homework will be in the planner, but if I need to let you know anything about tests or a note of encouragement about how your child was amazing that day, or something that we're working on in class, either socially, academically, or behaviorally, I might jot it down in there. So please continue to check that. I check that every morning, so if you need to let me know anything, you can put it there. Also, their spelling, homework, important sheets of paper for you to sign will all be in there. And I really like to encourage that organization, and I'm really trying to help them to be very specific about what folder they're putting it in, home to school, or if they're putting it in their homework folder. So any support you can give me with that would be awesome. All the kids are doing really well with that, so just keep up the great work. So grades and weights will be found on that binder attachment that I'm going to send you, because they're all a little bit different with weights. So I'll send that to you in the attachment. A little bit about the curriculum. So for math, we use Envision, which is a wonderful curriculum that builds throughout the years and kind of goes back and scaffolds. So that's really wonderful. And again, you can see that breakdown in the scope and sequence. Reading, we go through a bunch of different books, so I'd encourage you to look at that scope and sequence. We use Journeys as a backbone, and I apply those Florida State standards that Journey has to the books, and sometimes we'll use the Journeys curriculum. We also use vocabulary workshops, spelling connections, and for science, we use Florida Science, which is really interactive. You might have seen it already. It has interactive components throughout the textbook, experiments, which we're gonna do. And we're also using Generation Genius, which is a video question supplement that the kids love. It's super engaging. The guy is very funny and blows things up with experiments, so obviously they're very into that. Also for social studies, we're using an e-text this year, which is really cool, and we will be continuing to use that throughout the year. And trying to think, for writing, we're trying a new writing program this year, and it's called Ready Writing, and I really believe that it's one of the elite writing curriculums. It's super thorough, goes through, again, all the standards, but make sure that your kids are getting that high quality writing content. So if you'd like to see that, I would be happy to send you a little separate video of that writing curriculum so that you can see what your kids are going to be learning, and some pages of it will come home, but that is a really cool, it uses mentor texts and has guided practice pieces in it and then independent practice pieces in it. So that is a pretty cool thing that we're trying this year. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about expectations for behavior. So certainly we have the classic classroom management expectations, not talking when other people have been called on with a hand raised, raise your hand, be respectful, be a considerate and caring community member, all of those things. If for some reason we're having trouble that day, which happens because nobody's perfect, I will probably like write a little note, or if it's something I can handle in here, then it will just kind of be done after that. But if it's something I feel like we really need to partner as a team, I will reach out to you. Please know that whenever I'm reaching out, it's only because I am for your child and want them to be ultimately so successful. So remember that I'm for you, and I totally see this whole thing as a teamwork effort. So wanted to say that. Expectations for study skills and independence. So this is where I really have this on my heart. So I feel like fourth grade is the year that we can really step up in independence. So here's a few ways that I try to foster that independence and study skills. So first of all, through study guides for tests. I'll always point your child in the direction of how to study. In my email reminders for tests to you, I will always point you in the direction of how to study. In the future, as we go through fourth grade, we'll have kids create their own study guides, and I always infuse that study skills in. Another major way that I do this is through study hall. So what study hall is for students to decide, and at the beginning I've made it mandatory, but throughout I'll kind of wean off of that. And I want students to be able to decide if this would be a time that they should get their homework done. And honestly, almost all of them, all the time in my 5 years, use this time wisely. So what this looks like is we have a 30-minute block twice a week, and students can choose to study their spelling words, work on their homework, read quietly, but those are the options. So I really would love to, as a team, continue to encourage that study skill and independence, because I think that will really carry them throughout the rest of their schooling. All right, so late work. So I'm going to kind of talk about homework and late work together. So this year I've decided homework is a participation grade, because homework for me is designed to reinforce, reteach. It shouldn't be anything new. It's only, especially with math, to make sure that we've really got it. So I encourage kids that do their best on homework, work with a parent. It's not for a letter grade, but it's for a participation grade, which you'll see in the weights does definitely impact their grade if they are or if they're not doing it. So be encouraged that if there's a frustrating moment that you can reach out to me. I like to say that I'm pretty understanding if something comes up, and I just really appreciate that communication. So as long as there's that little communication through an email, that's super helpful to me. So I just need to know, if something came up, what it was, so that I can be grace-filled towards you. So I like to be like that. So with homework, going back to that, if the child is really frustrated, so let's say you've worked 45 minutes, which for me, I want it to only be 30 minutes at most. So please let me know if it's more than 30 minutes. That's not my heart for this homework piece. So let's say it's been over 30 minutes and your child's frustrated. Please just email me, stop, and I will pull them aside and I will help them. This is not meant to be frustrating. I actually want it to be the opposite. I want it to be I want them to be full of confidence as they go through this and just brush up on whatever skill we're learning. So late work. So if the homework is late, every day it's an additional 10% off. So let's say it was due Monday, they turned it in Tuesday, they made 100, well, it would be 10% off. And it's 10%, additional 10% off every day. So if it's 2 days late, it's 20%. Same thing with my distance learners with work. When there is a submission date on there, please have it in by that date. That just helps us all stay organized and on track. So that is my late work policy as far as that goes. So speaking of distance learners, I just want to shout out to you because you all have been so phenomenal. That is a huge adjustment and you all have done such a wonderful job. So please keep up the good work. How that works with distance learning is if you are in the classroom and you decide to go to distance learning, that is a 4-week time. So I am so proud of all of them and continue continue to keep up the good work. Everybody should be kind of on the Google Classroom, so if you're not, please let me know. The kids in brick and mortar style know how to use that, so I'm confident that if we ever needed to transition to that for whatever reason, independently or as a class, that the kids would be totally set up for success and they know what they're doing. So that is wonderful. Kind of speaking on that terms, I want to give you an update about the safety procedures. The kids are rocking it. They are doing so well. They know when the code switch is, of where they can take a mask break and when they need to have it on. That's becoming very routine and very normal. So I just want to put in a little bit of encouragement about that. Quizzes versus tests. So something really important to know about me is I like to do quizzes, which you'll see in the weights are less than tests, because quizzes are in the moment. They give me what I like to call with the kids a picture of their brain to know how they are doing. So quizzes is not necessarily something they're going to be studying for. It's an informative I can talk, I promise. A form of assessment that I like to do to make sure that they're on track with me. Now, tests, they will always have time to prepare for. They will always have some sort of study guide, and they weigh more. So that's just kind of my philosophy as Melanie, how I like to do assessments with quizzes versus tests. So another thing I want to talk about real quick is the Reading Genre Challenge. So the Reading Genre Challenge is awesome. I always see the kids' reading and literacy skills rise after participating in this challenge because they're reading voraciously and they're reading a variety of genres, which is awesome. So I want to encourage them to do this. This is due after Christmas break, and I've sent out an email, but just to kind of review it. After Christmas break, they have their sheets. I'm counting some books for more than one book, and they can come to me if it's Harry Potter or Wings of Fire or books that are a little bit more like meat and potatoes. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. So last thing, or maybe the last thing, is contact information. So I don't mind throughout the day if you text or email me. I want you to know if it's something so urgent that I need to know, please call the school, or actually it would probably be better to call Olivia and Renee, our second floor administrators. So yeah, please do that. I'm gonna correct myself there, so that they can get to me right away. So I don't always see my phone, I don't always see my email when I'm with the kiddos, so I want to be able to hear you if you need me to know something right away. So after school hours, after that 3:30, I would say that email's actually probably the fastest way to contact me. I am really intentional about checking that, and I kind of shut that off around dinner time, but we'll check it early in the morning. So if it's something urgent, then you can give me a text. I understand that this is a new year and I want to hear if something's going on. So feel free to text me if it's urgent after school hours, but when I'm at home, email is actually a little faster. So hope that is clear. And again, I'm so excited to be your teacher this year. I will probably think of a couple more things and add them on the attachment for you. Please do not hesitate with any questions or concerns or comments. I would love to hear from you. All right, I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.